What's going on, friends, thrends, and thramly? We are still here in the United States of Siege trying to make sense of everything, right? I mean, at this point, we've got the DOJ trying to argue that Trump's ballroom plan is a matter of national security. Which, to be fair, given that I think the majority of the country that has read anything to do with the Epstein files wants to tear that motherfucker limb from limb, if they revised it to personal security, it might be a bit more plausible. But still, the DOJ is back in his play, right? Surprise, surprise. I'm sure Elon is currently sweating bullets as French officials have raided X's offices over there and are holding them accountable for, amongst other things, Grok's continued proclivities towards producing AI porn of unwitting and unwilling participants. Yeah, Grok is still a bit of a perv, or at least Elon is behind it, right? Again, surprise, surprise. And I think while it's heartening to see that Minnesota is tired but still standing strong, we stand with you, Minnesota. The world has become a much darker place in the past few days, right? And it's not just because the world keeps doing what the world does, but more importantly, with the continued release of data files from the Epstein drop, right? Anyone combing through them is seeing way too much of humanity, things that can't be unseen, hearing concepts that can't be unheard, right? I mean, honestly, if even a fraction of what's in these files is legitimate, whether or not things were acted upon, it honestly starts to validate the Orwellian concept of thought crime. Like, regardless of what people actually committed, these people who are in the files are depraved, disturbed, and need to be isolated from the rest of existence. That's just facts, right? Like, that's not hyperbole. That being said, the one thing I'm a bit wary of, and I'm going to be completely transparent about, right, is the fact that what it seems to tie to in the files are some of the more high-profile abductions that we've heard about, like John Benet Ramsey, even, connecting back to Adam Walsh, and that's, kind of dating me a bit, right? But you guys might know his father from America's Most Wanted. He's the kid who went missing and led to America's Most Wanted, right? There seem to be all of these ties to some of the darkest moments that we can think of in human history. And while I am not in any way doubting the possibility that any of that is true, the only thing that honestly worries me is that in the fact that they can't put the genie back in the bottle, right? The files are out there. I am worried that by potentially connecting the Epstein files to some of these other high-profile cases, that it might be an attempt to discredit the overall process of what we're discovering. I am not in any way saying that it is, because at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if that were the truth. I'm just wary, and not wary because I don't think they're capable, but because I'm worried about the lengths that these people will go to try to cover their tracks, including sullying the memory of other missing and abused and or trafficked children. That being said, I don't recommend delving into the files without a safety net, without a spotter, without an emotional support animal, some emotional support humans, some emotional support Muppets, whatever puts a smile on your face and keeps you feeling sane and grounded, because just the bits and pieces that I've managed to digest has been almost more than I can stomach. And I can't look at most things the same way. Then again, maybe this is the awakening that we all need to have at some point. It's just kind of a choose your own adventure, right? That said, I believe Renee, I believe Carrie, I believe Amanda, I believe the survivors. I stand with them. I stand with Minnesota and Maine. We see y'all fighting. I stand with every American pushing back against this rising tide of fascism, who's currently outraged at the amazing lack of accountability being shown to the motherfuckers who still hold some kind of office and are getting away with any of this. And don't even get me started on the disgrace that is Tulsi Gabbard. That is another video maybe for tomorrow. That being said, your rage is justified, and the only way to channel that is to rise the fuck